I feel compelled to warn people about foxtails this year, even though the rains have helped things generally be a little bit greener at this time. The sheer numbers of these invasive plants is so great that many of them have already started seeding. Many of them are already in the dangerous stage, and it's only going to get worse from here. Sure, about this time last year things looked drier, but the rains may have actually increased the amount of a problem that's simply delayed. I have finally resorted to putting these masks on my dogs. At their height, they're on face level with things that are trying to stab them in the face, and I've had to take them to the vet before, even being careful. Even going to places where there shouldn't be foxtails at a time of year when there shouldn't be foxtails. And I've still paid the price. Let me tell you, it's frightening because the dogs get put under, and sometimes it looks like they're not going to come out of the anesthesia. It's a surgical procedure, it's invasive, and it's expensive. Something you'd rather avoid.
This is scary, people. You don't want to see your dog like this. Stay awake.
I don't like putting these masks on the dogs, but I'm not going to stop going outside and exercising and adventuring. So we went up to Tahoe, where you can still find an escape from these foxtails. But having everything covered in snow takes away from the impact I was going for. But the point is, underneath the snow, it's also not foxtails. Unfortunately, not only are a wide number of foxtail species intentionally grown in California, but they're also trucked in by the ton. There are more than 40 species of foxtails in North America. Maybe I list some of them incorrectly as foxtails, but to me, it's the umbrella of seeds that will not just irritate your dogs, but actually continue to burrow into their flesh after the initial embedment, eventually making their way to vital organs. There's a separation of category from those that are unpleasant and those that are lethal. This, for example, is a Filaree seed. It is not a foxtail. It doesn't feel good, and you certainly don't want one stabbing you in the eye. The difference is it doesn't continue to burrow like a living creature. While eyes, ears, nose, and mouth are exceptionally vulnerable locations on your pet, foxtails have been known to enter the body through other locations, including but not limited to between the paws. Yes, it's a huge advantage to protect the face, but you do need to check the rest of the body. And don't make the mistake I made. I was in a rush after one of our hikes and took the masks off before cleaning their bodies. Well, dogs will try to groom themselves using their mouths, which means they will accidentally end up sticking their face right into a foxtail. The number of dogs afflicted with foxtails each year is astonishing. I'm going to have a guest episode with a veterinarian here in a few weeks to learn a little bit more about the extent of the problem, but I'm curious how we can possibly hope for this situation to improve when, one, these plants are invasive in nature, meaning they're going to adapt and they're going to survive. This was also filmed April 30th, 2023, and what I'm showing is that some of these slender oats are so mature, they've already released their seeds. These are just empty casings. Furthermore, not only have some of them completed their cycle already, they are at that stage while younger generations are growing right next to them. These plants don't seem to care about the seasons. And speaking of seasons, it was 90 the day before I filmed this. It's 61 now. The invasive plants just don't seem to care that we don't have seasons anymore. They keep going. 2, we're intentionally growing them. 3, we're importing them. 4, the very industry responsible for the origin of these plants in the state of California is marketed as a method of combating the problem. Over the course of several more videos, I will slowly explain why that just isn't possible. And in fact, it's ludicrous. My final thought is a question to ponder. How do you think wildlife deal with this problem? I know we're comparing domesticated to wild, but they're still mammals, and the native wildlife are being faced with non-native invasive plants. So why would anyone think that they are equipped to dealing with a problem that was introduced to the area? What magical qualities do wildlife possess that allow them not to be affected by foxtails?